All right. Against the odds time, we are looking to Door of Nothingness in Modern, and we'll keep this. The hand looks pretty bad, but Chromatic Lantern is pretty sweet. Combo with Arbor Elf. Oh, Probe. Probably means Infect. Probably means we're dead. Look at this hand. Yep, there's an Ink Moth Nexus. Well, this game might be rough before boarding. Oh, man. Oh, you never want to see the third rune scar. Windswept Teeth for our opponent. Cracks it. So the biggest question of this game is, do we die on turn 3 or on turn 4? My guess is turn 3. Yep, there's Blighted Agent. Opponent passes. Land? Alright, there's a land. So this works. We get to do this, untap a forest, play Chromatic Lantern, play Arbor Elf. So we're actually going to have a turn 3 Liliana? I don't think that matters. Oh, the one of Corruptor. Oh, dear. Opponent gets in. Well, we're not dead on turn 3, but that still is a blowout. Oh, yeah. Seal you. Pass the turn. I mean, this protects us from Ink Moth, but our opponent has so many infect creatures, doesn't really matter. Mandibled Corrosa. Ink Moth activated. Pendelhaven. Alright. We don't really have anything we can draw in the main deck that gets us out of this. Good news is, in the sideboard, we have 4 Curse of Deathhold, which is absurd against our opponent's deck. What do we take out? I guess we can go down the extra turn combo and go down a Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, let's try it like that. Alright, we get to play first. Well, we got a Door to Nothingness. And some ramp. I guess that's reasonable-ish. So, Forest, Birds of Paradise. Pass the turn. Forest for our opponent. And there's Glistener Elf. Well, let's Utopia Sprawl the Forest. On black. Play Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. We need a Curse of Deathhold while we're still alive. Attacks with Glistener Elf. Gets in 4-1 Infect. Breeding Pool. Untapped. And there's Blighted Agent. Well, crack this. Get a Stomping Grounds. Tapped. Come on, Curse of Deathhold. Arbor Elf. Let's play the Swamp. Play Garrick. Untap 2 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Oh, well, we're ramping well. If our stuff lives, we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We actually have 10 mana next turn, which theoretically means we could just draw a Primal Surge. Opponent rankers up the Blighted Agent. So Primal Surge or Curse of Deathhold. Those are the cards we need. Might have Old Croza. There's the attack. Blocking does nothing, so we will take it. And our opponent has Mutagenic Growth. Did not draw our trump cards. Alright, against the odds time. Playing some Door of Nothingness or Door to Nothingness in Modern. Oh, we got a prime time. Alright, so let's just Forest and Birds. Pass turn. There's a Scalding Tarn. Gets the Steam Vents. Untapped. And bolts our Birds. Yeah, fair enough. Overgrown Tomb tapped. Pass turn. Polluted Delta for our opponent. Let's play Forest. Play Chromatic Lantern. Opponent cracks Polluted Delta. Are they really going to counter Chromatic Lantern? And Mana Leaks. Alright. Fair enough. Pass turn. Is this like Blue Moon? Drowned Catacombs. And Thought Scours. Oh, it's just like Grixis control. Opponent passes. Let's Eternal Witness. Get back Birds of Paradise. Play a Forest. Play Birds of Paradise. Pass the turn. Theoretically, we could cast a Primeval Titan next turn. Probably gets countered, though. Opponent Murderous Cuts our Birds. Plays a Swamp. And passes. Well, let's get in with Eternal Witness. Play Utopia Sprawl on black. Stomping Grounds untapped. And let's pass the turn. Opponent has Kolaghan's Command. There goes our Blood Moon. We're kind of getting wrecked. Polluted Delta for our opponent. And passes. Now let's pass the turn. Opponent gets tap land. There's another tap land for our opponent. Now let's play Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Opponent has Snapcaster for Kolaghan's Command. Discard Liliana. Well, we're getting to the point where we're going to have to just slam this Primeval Titan. Another land for our opponent. We've waited and been as patient as possible, but I still expect it to get countered. Opponent passes. I mean, we got to try it. You got to counter? Whoa! Alright. Well, that's good news. Let's get Wooded Foothills and Verdant Catacombs. Pass the turn. Well, apparently our opponent was out of counters. Do they have removal? Cracks Bloodstained Mire. Gets Steam Vents tapped. There's a Dreadbore. And gets in with Snapcaster. Crack Fern Catacombs. Get a Swamp. Crack Wooded Foothills. Basically just thinning our deck here. And still drawing lands. Play Garrick. Make a 3/3. Play Catacombs. Pass the turn. Opponent bolts our Beast. Well, hopefully we draw one of our big things. Scalding Tarn. Our opponent's out of cards, but we don't have a threat. Gets in with Snapcaster. Well, crack Catacombs. Get an Overgrown Tomb tapped. That could do it. Hopefully they didn't draw a counter for their last card. Whoo! Alright, Runescarred Demon down. Now let's just take another Runescarred Demon. Opponent says top deck. Yeah, that's technically true. We do have a lot of horrible fatties in our deck, though. Opponent Thought Scours. We might be doing it. We are super close. No attacks. We draw a Forest. Now play the Forest. Play Runescar. Whoo! Get a Primal Surge. Get in with Runescar. Problem is, I think our opponent's going to scoop, and we're not going to be able to do it. We got it, though. We got there. I'm almost hoping they have an answer. Oh, and our opponent scoops it up. Runescars are just too big. Too big, too big. Well, let's bring in Leyline of the Void. Seems reasonable against our opponent's deck. Go down a Chromatic Lantern. Try it like that. Sure. Steam Vents for our opponent. Untapped. And passes. Forest and Bird's Paradise. Pass turn. Opponent bolts our birds. Thought Scours. Mills Snapcaster and land. Plays an island. And passes. Birds of Paradise. Wooded Foothills. Pass the turn. Serum Visions for our opponent. Feels like they're digging for lands, most likely. Steam Vents. Untapped. Well, crack Wooded Foothills. Overgrown Tomb tapped. Let's just play a Lantern. If they want to kill it or counter it, they can. Yep, there's Mana Leak. Stomping Grounds tapped. Pass the turn. See what our opponent can do here. They are down to 4 cards. Scalding Tarn for our opponent. Cracks it. Bolts our birds. Is this Tassiger time? Gurmag Angler. Actually a faster clock than Tassiger. Play Seal. Play Stomping Grounds tapped. Pass the turn. A bit slow. Angler gets in. 4/5. Down to 14. We draw Forest. Play Door to Nothingness. We're actually hoping our opponent counters this so we can resolve a Primeval Titan. Alright. Well, there's Snapcaster. Gonna Mana Leak our door. And then we're gonna have to see if our Primeval Titan lives. There's the leak. Yep. Pass the turn. See what our opponent can do. We're on a 2-turn clock if this Titan dies. Opponent gets in. Down to 7. There's Tassiger. Well, theoretically we live through this turn. If our opponent's on nothing, which seems unlikely. Titan. Get a couple lands. Pass the turn. Hope our opponent has nothing. And Murderous Cut. Alright. Well, that wasn't a very great draw for us. Yeah, let's run it back. I guess this is reasonable-ish. Forest and Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Polluted Delta for our opponent. Cracks it. Steam Vents untapped. And Serum Visions. Ooh, okay. Well, we're going to get a turn 2 Lantern down. Leaves 1 on top and passes. Play the Forest. Untap. Play a Lantern. And chip the turn. Scalding Tarn for our opponent. And passes. Well, let's attack with Arbor Elf. Play an Arbor Elf. If our opponent wants to leak this, that is fine. Alright. Play the Forest. Pass the turn. Alright, there goes an Arbor Elf. Crack Scalding Tarn. Watery Grave. Untapped. And Murderous Cuts Arbor Elf. Well, we kind of need lands now. Assuming this Eternal Witness gets countered. Serum Visions. Bottoms. And bottoms. Let's Eternal Witness. There's the Mana Leak. And then Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. Still a land away from Primeval Titan. And that might not even resolve anyway. Polluted Delta for our opponent. Well, do we just go for it? Wooded Foothills. We're going to go for it. We got to try it. If it gets countered, it gets countered. Primeval Titan. Opponent has another Mana Leak. Pass the turn. Cracks Polluted Delta. Steam Vents. Tapped. Another land for our opponent. That's an interesting draw. Let's Blood Moon. With the mana to pay for Mana Leak, if they're trying to, like, Snapcaster Mana Leak. Cracks Polluted Delta. Or Bloodstained Mire. They just getting a Swamp. Gets a Blood Crypt tapped. Interesting. Well, let's pass the turn. Huh. Do they not have a basic swamp? Oh, basic swamp in hand. Snapcaster Mage for our opponent. Going to Murderous Cut our Arbor Elf. That does put us short for resolving Runescar. Alright, there goes Arbor Elf. Well, come on, deck. Give us some good running. Play a forest, pass the turn. Back to 1 land away from Runescar. Opponent gets in 4-2. Down to 18. Delver of Secrets. Alright, come on, land. Land would be so big. Alright, there's a land. Thanks to our combo of Chromatic Lantern, we can cast a Runescar Demon. And we will get a... I guess just another Runescar Demon. Pass the turn. See what our opponent can do. Delver flips with a Serum Visions. Cast the Serum Visions. Well, we haven't done much with Door to Nothingness, but we might actually win this match just by Runescar Demoning. Opponent has a Tassiger, the Golden Fang. Well, we have another Runescar Demon. What are we getting this time? I want a Primal Surge. I guess we could just try to get Door. We don't quite have enough mana, though. 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, let's just get another Runescar Demon. Attack with a Runescar. Opponent's down to 5. Pass the turn. So... feeling hopeful that we're going to win this game. Not feeling hopeful that we're going to win this game. And our opponent scoops it up. Well, apparently just casting Runescar Demon after Runescar Demon is good enough. No sweet Door to Nothingness kill, but we'll get there. We will get there. We fought through Grixis Delver. Somehow. Alright, against the odds time. Door to Nothingness in Modern. And we'll try this. So, Forest and Birds of Paradise. Pass the turn. Shambling Vent for our opponent. Ooh, that's a good draw. So untap land and Chromatic Lantern. Pass the turn. So we're actually 1 turn away from Ugin's Nexus or Door to Nothingness. Ay, there goes our seal. What's our opponent? Oh, can you imagine what the opponent's thinking? Takes the seal, only option available. Plays the plains and passes. We draw a forest. So let's just play Door to Nothingness. Ugin's Nexus is a bit worse now that our seal's in the graveyard. Although, eventually, we can find an Eternal Witness to get back seal. We have 1 copy. Opponent passes. Well, let's play Ugin's Nexus. Pass the turn. Secure the Waste, X1. Ooh, opponent finds their 3rd land. Is this black-white tokens? Corrects Marsh Flats. Gets the plains. There's Spectral Procession. Opponent gets in 4-1. Well, we're going to need some action here. There's a land. Well, I guess we can play another Door to Nothingness. Pass the turn. Opponent has a lot of power and toughness on the board, and we can't really deal with it. Oh, dear. Anguish Unmaking hits our Chromatic Lantern. So now we're even further away from Runescar Demon. Utopia Sprawl on black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pass the turn. Tangible Virtue, taking 8. And I think this is the game. Yup. Alright. Yikes! Well, good news is Curse of Deathhold, very, very strong. We're going to go down Blood Moon, I believe, and maybe just Chromatic Lantern, 1 copy. Try it like that. Alright, we get to play first. And, well, we got some ramp. If we can ramp into a Titan, that would be sweet. Forest and Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. There's a plains for our opponent. Oh, man, and just dismembers. Well, Birds of Paradise. Play a forest. Utopia Sprawl on black. Pass the turn. We're still not that far away from a Titan. Hopefully we draw some more action. Opponent corrects their Marsh Flats. Godless Shrine. Oh, and they have Thoughtseize. Okay. Well, hopefully we draw stuff. Arbor Elf is not what we were hoping for. Play Arbor Elf, play Verdant Catacombs, pass the turn. We need, like, actual stuff we can cast. Runescar Demon, Primeval Titan, Curse of Deathhold. There's a Spectral Procession. Well, come on, Curse of Deathhold. Get a tap land. Well, I guess we keep drawing lands for no reason. Well, if we don't draw any real spells, we're not going to win. We have a decent number in our deck. Vault of the Archangel for our opponent, and Lingering Souls. Man, if we draw Curse of Deathhold, we probably just win the game on the spot. And we have 4 of them in our deck. Another Overgrown Tomb. Take a big hit. We need to draw it soon, though, before they find Intangible Virtue. Well, there's Seal of Primordium. Not what we were hoping for. Pass the turn. So we have 9 mana available, but we just haven't drawn any of our good stuff. Opponent has Stony Silence and a Ghost Quarter. I mean, the question is, do we draw a Curse of Deathhold for the victory? I guess we keep drawing lands and passing the turn. Another Lingering Souls. Opponent gets in. Well, this is it. We have to draw it this turn. There's no other options. Crack Wooded Foothills, thin our deck, get a forest, and more mana. Alright. Alright, against the odds time. Playing some Door to Nothingness in Modern. Well, we got a Primal Surge in hand. We got some ramp. Is there any way we can ramp into it fast enough for it to matter? We need like a Primeval Titan, perhaps. Darksteel, Citadel, and Signal Pest, and Mox Opal, and something else. Vault Scourge. Alright, seeming less likely. There's a Garrick. Well, play Wooded Foothills, pass the turn. No Primeval Titan. Opponent has Darksteel, Citadel. Gets in 4-2, down to 18, and passes. Well, crack Wooded Foothills, get a forest. Play a swamp, play Chromatic Lantern, and pass the turn. Come on, Primeval Titan, before we're dead. Opponent, draw Steel Overseer. Pretty good. Actually, super good. Gets in, down to 15. We draw a land. Well, play a forest, play a Garrick, untap a couple lands, play a Chromatic Lantern, and pass the turn. So we're at 7 mana right now. So the way we win this game is draw Primeval Titan. Opponent gets a Memnite. Is draw Primeval Titan, untap, and Primal Surge. Opponent's going after us. Down to 11. Does this change things? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Alright, well, all we can really do here is play Chromatic Lantern, play a Wooded Foothills, play Ugin's Nexus, make a Beast, pass the turn. So, does our opponent kill us here? Or kill our Garrick? If either of those things happen, well, there goes our Beast. If either of those things happen, the game is over. Opponent drawing Cranial Plating means that thing is going to happen. And that does it. Alright. Well, what can we do? Oh, we have the actual combo kill in hand, and goodness. Goodness. Alright, we're going to go down the Blood Moons, go down a Chromatic Lantern, go up Curse of Deathhold, try it like that. We get to play first, and we're going to mulligan. Alright, I guess we can try this. We got a Curse of Deathhold. Is it going to be fast enough? Probably not. We do have a land on top, that helps. So play a forest, play an Arbor Elf, pass the turn. That might mean that the Curse of Deathhold is fast enough. And if it's fast enough, that's going to buy us a long time, most likely, to win this game. There's a Signal Pest, and an Ornithopter, and an Ornithopter. Well, play Birds of Paradise, untap a forest, play Wooded Foothills, pass the turn. So now we really need a land. Opponent has Vault Scourge. So land should essentially win us the game. Opponent gets in for 2. There's the forest. Alright, we finally got our Curse of Deathhold. Get an Overgrown Tomb, untapped. And this is very good against our opponent. Untap. Alright, Curse, targeting our opponent. That really sets our opponent a long ways back and makes it really hard for them to play stuff. Alright, there's a Cranial Plating. So they do get to keep getting in a little bit. Down to 12. So play a Birds, play a Garrick, untap 2 lands, pass the turn. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana approximately right now. Opponent gets in a Garrick, down to 1 counter. We draw. Oh, that's good. The downside is this might make our opponent scoop, but it's still good. Untap a couple of lands. I don't know if our opponent can resolve a spell now. They might be completely on the Galvanic Blast plan. Alright. Opponent scoops it up. Well, Curse of Deathhold, super good against Divinity. Well, there's a Curse of Deathhold and some ramp. Wow, this is instant replay. So, Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills, get a Forest and Utopia Sprawl. On black, pass the turn. Glimmer Void for our opponent. Arcbound Ravager. That's pretty bad. That lets our opponent sack their artifacts to do things with them. Alright, so Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills, get a Forest, play Chromatic Lantern, play Arbor Elf, pass the turn. There's another Ornithopter for our opponent. Ugh, and a Whip Flare. That's bad. I'm surprised that's in our opponent's deck, because it's not very good. Alvern Catacombs, Curse of Deathhold, bonus X, pass the turn. We need to get... Really? Oh, wow. That's a good draw. Down to 10. We draw a land, play Verdant Catacombs, and this should be the game. We're not very lucky, I will say. And that does it. Alright, against the odds time. Looking to close the door to Nothingness on our opponent in Modern. Fairy Conclave for our opponent. Well, there's a door to Nothingness. Let's play an Arbor Elf, pass turn. Flooded Strand. Well, Forest. Untap our Forest. This might be the Jeskai Ascendancy deck we did an instant deck tech for. I don't know what else plays Fairy Conclave. Alright, there's Remand. Fair enough. Serum Visions for our opponent. Leaves a card on top, and Thought Scours, milling the card they left on top, draws a mountain. Well, play the Forest, play Chromatic Lantern, play Birds of Paradise, get in with the Arbor Elf, and pass turn. We're kinda not that far away, potentially. Opponent bolts our Arbor Elf, and passes. Let's play Verdant Catacombs, play Liliana. Opponent has another Remand. Alright, play Birds of Paradise, and pass turn. Still think this might be Jeskai Ascendancy, just without the white mana. Opponent probes. Gets a look at our hand. Oh, Pyromancer's Ascension. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, as much as I want to do all kinds of sweet things here, I think we just got a Blood Moon. Opponent Thought Scours. Gets a counter on Pyromancer's Ascension. Alright, pass the turn. No blue mana for our opponent. Whoa! And our opponent scoops it up. Okay, well, we'll take it. Well, I guess we want our Leylines of the Void and maybe Brain Maggots and Beseiju, I guess? Let's cut Blood Moon and a Chromatic Lantern. Try it like that. Ooh, alright. Well, we don't have any payoffs, but we have a Leyline and a ton of ramp. See just how good Leyline is. There's Hallowed Fountain. Well, Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills, get a Forest, and Birds of Paradise. Pass turn. This is going to make it really hard for our opponent to turn on Pyromancer's Ascension. Well, play a Forest, play Chromatic Lantern, and play Arbor Elf. Pass the turn. So we're going to be going into turn 3 with, what, 6 mana? So Primeval Titan would be sweet. Especially if our opponent taps down. Flooded Strand for our opponent, and probes, gets a peek at our hand. Cracks Flooded Strand, gets a Plains, ooh, a Wear Tear, okay. Well, play Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills, get an Overgrown Tomb, untapped. Play Garruk, make a 3/3, untap a Forest, play Arbor Elf, pass the turn. So I guess we're just on the beatdown plan for the time being. Monastery Mentor for our opponent. And a probe. Makes a token. I don't know what we're up against. I have no idea. Opponent passes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So close, but so far away. Well, let's get in with our beast. Put our opponent down to 11. Make another beast. And play another Garruk. Keep the new one. Untap 2 lands. Pass the turn. So now our opponent has to deal with Garruk, or else we can just win with Overrun. Opponent passes. I'll play a Forest. Ultimate Garruk. And attack with everything? Opponent has a Visions of Beyond to make a token. And remands it. Alright. So our opponent gets some prowess triggers, gets a couple tokens. Does this keep our opponent alive is the big question. Blocks? Well, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess our opponent does just barely stay alive, but they're not going to have much left. Blocks with everything. Oh, and that does it! Okay. Well, I guess that does do enough. We just trampled over for the win, so... yeah. That wasn't what we were trying to do, but a win's a win. Alright, against odds time, door to nothingness in modern. And we'll play first. Okay, reasonable. So we will just forest and birds of paradise. Best turn. We do have a primeval titan, snow-covered mountain, and scred. Well, I guess we know what our opponent's doing. Good news is we don't especially care about blood moons. Bad news is we got blood moons in our deck, and our opponent definitely does not care about blood moons. Arid Mesa cracks it. I guess it could be the sun and moon deck. Rest in peace. Main deck, rest in peace. What is going on in this game? Alright, play a forest. Well, let's just play Eternal Witness. That's the turn. Arid Mesa for our opponent, cracks it, gets a snow-covered forest, and passes. Ooh, we get a Garrick. Well, let's attack with Eternal Witness. Play Garrick, take up Garrick, play a forest, pass the turn. We're actually getting pretty close to being like a chromatic lantern away. Opponent has a blood moon. Not too scary. We draw a forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Untap 2, target lands. Play Primeval Titan. Get a forest and a swamp. Get in with Eternal Witness. Play a forest. Pass the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're getting close. Opponent has a Koth. Well, if they can't deal with Primeval Titan, it's not really going to matter. Opponent passes. Well, go to combat. Attack our opponent. Attack Koth. Search out a couple more lands. Forest and forest. Koth down. Play door to nothingness. Make a 3/3. Pass the turn. 1, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have the mana, but we don't have... Come on, Primal Surge. Overgrown Tomb. Well, go to combat. Attack with everything. Are we just going to win by beating our opponent down? Get a couple forests. Opponent's down to 1. Play door to nothingness. Play Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. Tick up our Garrick. Pass the turn. Our opponent's playing an interesting scred build. And our opponent scoops it up. Well, we didn't find the answers that we were looking for, but we won pretty easily. Bring in Brain Maggot. I guess we can bring in Shriekmaw and try it like that. Yeah, we got a mulligan this one. No spells. Well, I guess we keep this. Not great. Pilfer and Catacombs to the bottom. We need some of our big hitters. Arid Mesa for our opponent. Gets a snow-covered mountain. We get another land. Birds of Paradise. Go. Helix on our birds. Sure. Well, play birds. Play an Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. Pass the turn. Snow-covered mountain for our opponent. And Cold Steel Heart. Okay. And passes. Oh, dear. Well, we've drawn a land every single turn this game. That is not where we want to be. Eternal Witness gets back birds. Forest and birds. Pass the turn. We even scryed a land at the bottom, along with drawing all these lands. Opponent has Anger of the Gods. Wipes away our board. Well, alright. Garrick's sort of a card. Play Garrick. Make a beast. And pass turn. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have anything too big. Like a Storm Breath Dragon. Gonna kill our Garrick. Yep. Well, play Garrick. That's not exactly what we were hoping for, but I guess it's better than nothing. Make a beast. Get in for 3. We've slowly worked up to 6 mana, which means if we ever draw like a Primeval Titan, we can cast it. Sacred Foundry for untapped. Whoa! What does this mean? Boros Reckoner. Okay. And, wow. Alright, our opponent kinda has it all. Takes up Chandra. Exiles a Johnny. Well, we need to draw something big this turn, essentially. Gets in with Storm Breath. We can just keep drawing lands. Well, pass the turn. Our opponent's draw is very good. Opponent plays a land, takes up Chandra, hits a land. Monstrous is the Storm Breath. And this probably means we're dead no matter what. Gets in for 7, down to 6. I guess Shriekmaw keeps us alive. No, more lands. Whew, wow, that was some bad drawing. Well, I think we gotta bring in more Shriek Maws to kill Storm Breasts. Go down one Chromatic Lantern and a Brain Maggot. Try it like that. Alright, we're on the play. And we'll keep this. We actually have a Runescar Demon, and we have some ramp. Quick Runescar is one of the ways we can win a game. So Forest, and let's lead on Arbor Elf, just in case we draw a Utopia Sprawl. Pass turn. Arid Mesa. So our Arbor Elf gonna die here? Mountain, and Lightning Bolt. Yep. Opponent passes. Ooh. Well, change of plans. Verdant Catacombs, crack Verdant Catacombs, get our Swamp, and play Brain Maggot. Wow. Helix, Volcanic Fallout, Boros Reckoner. Alright, let's take Lightning Helix. That's the card our opponent can play the fastest. There's the plains. And our opponent just drew a Lightning Bolt. Well, we get a Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Get a Forest. Play Chromatic Lantern. Play Birds of Paradise. Pass the turn. So, if we can get to casting Primeval Titan, we should be able to win the game. Opponent has Lightning Helix. Arbor Elf is, that's okay. Our opponent's running low on removal. If they path an Arbor Elf, that's fine. We still get a land. Land for Primeval Titan, there it is. Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Get a Forest, and this should be the beginning of the end for our opponent. They can path our Primeval Titan. Untap. Cast our Primeval Titan. Maybe we can actually get the combo this game. Search out a couple lands. Opponent's gonna path it. Yep. So we get a Forest. Then from Primeval Titan, we get Wooded Foothills and Verdant Catacombs. Pass the turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we drew the land. Alright. Well, we have a plan, boys and girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to tap all of our mana, play Runescar Demon. If our opponent doesn't scoop, I think we're going to get the Primal Surge Door to Nothingness kill. Oh, is it finally happening? So Runescar triggers. Oh! Our opponent didn't even scoop. They lost connection to the game, which means, the punishment. So on Magic Online, one of the things people do, which is actually against the terms of service, you're not supposed to do it, is if they get mad because they feel like they're getting beaten by Door to Nothingness, they occasionally just close out of the program, and you have to sit there for 10 minutes and wait for the clock to run down. After 10 minutes of your opponent being inactive, then you finally win the game. So it's basically the opponent being salty and trying to make you feel bad or like make you upset by making you sit there and wasting your time. Good news is we're winning with Door to Nothingness. So no matter what our opponent does to us, and if there's ever a time when saltiness is probably justifiable, it's when you're losing to the Blood Moon Door of Nothingness deck in Modern. Alright, against the odds time, looking to Door to Nothingness in Modern. Rootbound Craig. No ramp in this hand. Come on, birds off the top. Or door. Door's like a bird's, except it costs 15 mana instead of making one. Pass turn. Mountain for our opponent. And opponent has birds. Now play the forest, play seal, pass the turn. Another Rootbound Craig. Now Blood Moon's not looking super good here, especially with the birds out. Oh, that's what's happening. And a Llanowar Elves. Well, play the forest, pass the turn. Okay, keep killing our lands. And that's a Shivan Wumpus. 6/6 trample. I guess we're just dead to Shivan Wumpus. Oh, yep. Okay. Fair enough. Well, hopefully our opponent's out of land destruction. One more land destruction spell and we scoop. This is their substitute for Inferno Titan. Alright. Fair enough. Oh, I guess we can bring in Beseju just as an additional land. Go down Blood Moons, go up a couple Shriek Maws. Oh dear. Utopia Sprawl is like our worst ramp. We have a lot of lands in hand. I guess we try it. Let's Beseiju, pass the turn. Utopia Sprawl is bad because it's ramp that dies to land destruction. Mountain for our opponent, and passes. Well, what if Hills pass the turn? Rootbound Crag for our opponent, and Elvish Mystic. Where's our 1-drops? Verdant Catacombs, pass the turn. Yeah, I guess we should have mulliganed, looking for Elvish Mystics and stuff. Well, ramp, not specifically Elvish Mystic. 1-drops. Shivan Wumpus. Okay, I guess. Just how we drew it up. There's a forest. This is so bad. Pass the turn. I guess we're just dead. We really needed a mana dork. There's a mountain for our opponent. Creeping mold on our forest. Okay. Not really anything we can do about that. Are you? Alright, whatever. Yes, we got outjanked. Alright, this hand looks like a keeper. We're on the draw, unfortunately. Watery Grave for our opponent, untapped. And certain visions. We got the door. Opponent puts 1 to the top. We play a forest, play Utopia Sprawl on black. Pass turn. Sleight of hand for our opponent. It's a lot of cantrips for a black deck. And probe for our opponent. Gets a look at our hand. Bloodstained Mire cracks it. And another sleight of hand. And passes. Oh, there's a draw. Well, what did Foothills? Sorry, opponent. You should have left up mana. We will get a Stomping Ground, untapped. And Blood Moon. The old Blood Moon Door to Nothingness combo. Coming out in full force. Oh. Need that 3rd red mana? Can play untapped. Ooh, there's Chromatic Lantern. Well, play the forest. Play Chromatic Lantern. Combo! Combo! Play Birds of Paradise. Pass the turn. Oh, we might be getting it. This might be the door kill. Oh, no! No! Oh, no! Oh, jeez, deck. Oh. So we get to win games with this deck, but we don't get to get the door kill because people scoop like crazy. I'll bring in Beseiju. Let's just run it like this. Now I got turn 2 Blood Moon. Hopefully it resolves. Should be good if it does. Watery Grave for our opponent. Untapped. And certain visions. Bottom and top. Opponent passes. Well, Forest, Utopia Sprawl on black. Pass turn. See if our opponent leaves up counter magic here. Oh, that's what they're doing. Cycle Street Wraith. Actually, I don't know what they're doing. There's Thoughtseize. Alright, so our opponent gets rid of our Blood Moon. Huh? Do they have an... Oh, they have an Inquisition, too? Or another Thoughtseize? I see. Well, our opponent played a bunch of discard. See if we can just peel another Blood Moon here. That'd be sweet. Gotcha! We gotcha! Oh, our opponent's gonna be on full tilt. We gotcha! Off the top. Unfortunately, they still have a basic swamp, so they can probably cast Death Shadow and kill us, but that was still sweet. Opponent passes. Play a forest, pass the turn. We are going to need something big before our opponent actually draws out of this. That was a sweet draw, though. Bloodstained Mire for our opponent. Thoughtseize, whiff. Overgrown Tomb, tapped. I wish we could play our Liliana, but we're actually a black mana short. Oh, jeez, our opponent has all the Thoughtseizes, takes our Liliana. This would be a good time to draw Primeval Titan. Oh, there's a swamp, too. Verdant Catacombs, go. We drew things in the slightly wrong order there. And our opponent scoops it up. Oh, my lord. Blood Moon, real magic card. Does real magic card things. Still didn't get the combo kill. Alright, against the odds time. Door to Nothingness in Modern. Arbor Elf. Off forest, go. Opponent says they're playing my deck. I don't know what this means exactly. Red source? Birds. Well, let's play birds. Get in 4-1. Pass turn. Ghost Quarter. Oh. This might be Amiria. Oh. Oh. Well, this might help us get to our goal. Land? Let's just Blood Moon. This might be the time. We might have found the matchup where we actually get the kill. Opponent's drawing extra cards. This has to be the the Tutelage Turbo Mill deck, or Turbo Fog, Shell Deck Isle, and another Howling Mine. Well, there's a land. We draw a forest, Utopia Sprawl. Alright, so play the forest, Utopia Sprawl the forest, on black, tap, untap, tap, play Garrick, untap, play Chromatic Lantern, combo. It's a combo. We build a combo. Play Arbor Elf, pass the turn. Opponent draws some extra cards. How much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're 2 turns away. We might actually get it with Primal Surge. Opponent plays a tap land. Temple Bell for even more card drawing. Alright, this is our shot. Eternal Witness, Primeval Titan, and Forest. Tap, untap, tap, untap, tap, tap. Play Runescar Demon. Search out Primal Surge. I think we might finally be getting the combo. Oh my goodness, this took such a long time. Where's Primal Surge? You get Primal Surge, then we play a forest, untap 2 lands, play Ugin's Nexus. Oh, come on, no scooping! No scooping! We want to actually see it. Pass the turn. Oh, we're so close. Don't draw blue mana. No blue mana. Please, no blue mana. Opponent draws some extra cards. Plays a tap land. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it. Come on, no scooping. Just, yep, Temple Bell. That's good. Oh, are we going to see it? Are we going to see the door kill? I think we are. Finally. Oh, it took so long, but we got there. We draw extra cards. Tap all our mana. Untap 2 lands. Tap, tap, tap. Primal Surge. Oh, I think we're doing it. I think we're finally doing it. Oh, we resolved a Primal Surge, and we're going to get Door to Nothingness. Opponent makes us draw an Arbor Elf, makes us draw a Door to Nothingness. And now we start putting things on the battlefield. Always click yes. That's the rule. So here comes our stuff. Permanents going to the battlefield. We have not found a door yet. We need to attach Utopia Sprawl. Oh, we got to click it. On the battlefield, where's our Door to Nothingness? Keep getting lands. 16 cards left. We will... There's Seal of Primordium. There's a Door to Nothingness. So I guess we can just stop now. Oh, we'll search out random things. Doesn't matter. Then we Seal of Primordium. Kill our Ugin's Nexus. To take an extra turn. Oh, opponent is awesome. Thank you so much, opponent. Pass the turn. We gotta discard a couple cards. So, red, red, white, white, blue, blue, black, green, green. Door to Nothingness. Target our opponent. We did it! We actually did it! Primal Surge and Door to Nothingness in the same. Oh, our opponent had a bunch of fogs and tutelages. They couldn't cast because of Blood Moon. Whoo! We got there. We actually got there. Well, we need. Finally! It took so many games. Well, we need this Beseju. Alright, we got some ramp, got a door. No Chromatic Lantern yet. Opponent plays a Shell Deck Isle. Gets to hide something away. And passes. Well, Forest, Utopia Sprawl, on black. Pass turn. Ghost Quarter, for our opponent. Yeah, they're just going to Ghost Quarter our land. We get another Forest. That does slow us down a smidge. Keep drawing the doors. Catacombs, go. Island for our opponent. Wooded Foothills, go. Glacial Fortress. Well, let's crack Verdant Catacombs. Get an Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. Crack Wooded Foothills. Get a Stomping Grounds. Tapped. Play Verdant Catacombs. Crack Verdant Catacombs. Get a Forest. And play Garrick. And negate. Alright. Pass the turn. Howling Mine for our opponent. We don't mind. Oh, that was bad. Draw an extra card. Birds of Paradise. Well, play the Forest. Well, that's Door to Nothingness. Pass the turn. We need a chromatic lantern to be able to make the mana naturally, though. Howling Mine. Luckily, we don't mind our opponent fogging. This seems like the perfect matchup for us in a lot of ways. We draw a Garrick and our Primal Surge. Let's play Garrick. Resolves. Untap 2 lands. Play Birds of Paradise. Stomping Grounds tapped. Pestered. Howling Mine, drawing our opponent extra cards. Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Ooh, there's a lantern. Jeez, can we just do this the old-fashioned way? Well, let's play Primeval Titan. Ooh, and that resolves too. Get a couple lands. Beseju and Forest. Play Overgrown Tomb, tapped. Untap 2 target lands. Chromatic Lantern. Pass the turn! Oh, we don't even need the Surge. We're going to get both kinds of kills. Do we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? We have the mana. We have the Chromatic Lantern. Oh, come on. No removal. Supreme Verdict. Sure. I don't think that does it. Opponent passes. We draw an extra card. Green, green, white, white, black, black, red, red, blue, play the swamp, blue, door to nothingness. Oh, we got there. We won some games, but we got the double door kill. We ran into the perfect matchup for door to nothingness. The absolute perfect matchup. Oh my god. Well, we finally got there. We finally got there. Oh my goodness. So, what did we learn this week about Primal Door and Door to Nothingness in Modern? And wow. So, first off, we played a record-setting, I believe, amount of games. 21 games in 9 matches, all squeezed into just over 45 minutes. So, we had a lot of really quick games, and the most shocking part of all this is we actually posted a winning record across those games. So out of 21 games, we won 11, which is 52% game win percentage. And then we played 9 matches and won 5, which is just over 53%. So we actually won more than we lost with Primal Door in Modern. And I have to say, I was pretty disappointed over the beginning of our games because we were winning on occasion. I mean, it's obviously not an insane deck or anything, but we were winning most of the time just by ramping into Runescar Demons and Primeval Titans, and those cards are necessary to get enough mana for Door to Nothingness, or to find our Door to Nothingness, or to find our Primal Surge to find our Door to Nothingness, but our opponents would just scoop. Like, we'd Runescar Demon, and just the 6/6 flyer was so scary for our opponent that they would scoop, or the Primeval Titan would have a similar effect. So there were a lot of times where we would have gotten the Door to Nothingness kill had the game went on like 1 or 2 more turns, and we had it set up to do that, but our opponent would just scoop beforehand because our creatures were just so scary. So that was disappointing that we didn't get many door kills. Finally, at the very end, we finally got the door kills, and our opponent was nice enough to actually play it out and not just scoop. So that was pretty sweet. The combo, it does work. It's pretty janky, but the cost isn't as high as you'd think, because we want to play a lot of these cards anyway, like Garrick, Primeval Titan, Birds, Arbor Elves, our Utopia Sprawls. All those cards are good ways to actually make our Door to Nothingness kill work. So it's not like we had to warp our deck to add in the Primal Surge combo, and that's just like a backup. Sometimes we just ramp into it, as we saw in our last game. We just make so much mana, we get a Chromatic Lantern, and we're able to just naturally win with Door to Nothingness. Primal Surge gives us a way to find everything we need to win right away with one card, and it doesn't cost as much as it looks as far as the restrictions on deck building. So I was pretty happy with that. I was super happy about the combo of Blood Moon and Chromatic Lantern. That was so sweet, and being able to stick a Blood Moon and pretty much ruin the opponent, but also have all the colors of mana to activate Door to Nothingness is probably my favorite part of this deck. I almost wonder if you're playing a multicolor control deck that has a really hard time fighting Blood Moon in Modern, if it would be worth it playing a Chromatic Lantern or two in the sideboard as a Blood Moon hoser. Because yeah, sure, all your lands are going to be mountains, but they're all going to tap for mana. It doesn't matter if they're a mountain or not. So I really like the idea of Chromatic Lantern with Blood Moon, and it worked way better than I thought. Even just being able to go 1-drop into Chromatic Lantern into another 1-drop, and this is all happening on turn 2, means on turn 3 we're untapping with enough mana to cast a Primeval Titan, our Lilianas, our Garruks, and then after that we have enough mana to cast our Runescar Demons, find whatever combo piece we need, our doors or whatever. So the deck is faster than it looks when it gets its really good draws. Of course, we're relying on creature-based mana, so it can be disrupted by removal, but overall, I was pretty surprised at how well we did, and I was very happy that most of our wins were not 100% attributable to Blood Moon. We definitely won games and won matches where Blood Moon wasn't even a factor at all, and that's kind of what I was afraid of, is this would just be a 100% lean on Blood Moon match, and why we won a couple of games because of Blood Moon. Most of our wins were relatively fair games of Magic, either threatening to win with Door to Nothingness or just being able to win with huge creatures. We won with a Garruk ultimate at one point, just trampling up some Birds of Paradise and Arbor Elves and so forth. So the deck was... It was better than I expected it to be. It was pretty fun to play. I was very nervous as we were getting near the end that we were never actually going to see the Door to Nothingness trigger because of all the scooping that happened, even though the deck was performing well. So I'm really happy that we actually got to see it. I was going to be disappointed if, when I published the video, we never actually got to see tapping 2 mana of each color and just making the opponent lose the game with Door to Nothingness, slamming the Door to Nothingness in our opponent's face. But if eventually happen, and that made it all worthwhile. And like I said in the beginning, the deck was actually, by the numbers, way better than it had any right to be. For having 0 interaction and just slamming big things and trying to set up the Door to Nothingness kill, winning more than half the time is borderline shocking. I guess it just shows the power of making a bunch of mana and casting big things quickly. Like, you can win some matches just by doing that. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm thrilled that we eventually got the real Door to Nothingness killed. And that's been our Against Odds for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.